Hi guys, it's Nika, and today I will be building a library for OASIS Springs. I know I'm not in OASIS Springs just yet, but don't worry, we will move there. And before we actually get to the video, I would quickly like to say, if you hear anything weird in the background, this time it's not my birds, this time it's my neighbors. So please, my downstairs neighbors, please stop yelling at each other, or if you really have to yell at each other right now, please go to another room. Don't fight right under my bedroom. Thank you, I'm trying to record. So yeah, I already said in one of my videos, I'm not sure if the video is live already or not, but I said in one of the videos that I recorded that I could build a million libraries, because libraries are very close to my heart, okay? I am a librarian, well, I'm not now, I am unemployed, but I studied to be a librarian. I've always enjoyed working in a library. I think it's honestly like the right job for me. And even before I knew I would one day want to be a librarian, every time I saw a cool library, I was just obsessed. Like when I go sightseeing and I go to some castle or chateau or whatever, whenever we get to their fancy old libraries, I've always been so obsessed, and I really want like this big fancy library for myself, but that's probably never going to happen. But at least I can build some in The Sims, right? Actually, this one is not like a fancy old library. I went with this like modern vibe. I'm kind of surprised actually. I don't really build modern things simply because I don't know. I always try to be creative, because modern architecture, or like the modern architecture that you can do in The Sims, to me it's a lot just like squares and rectangles, and you have to make it work, you have to make it look pretty, because it's a hit or miss, I guess. Like either it looks really cool or it looks like you can't build and you just build a big square, and you know, I mean, you probably remember the first ever house you ever built in The Sims, right? So that's kinda how I feel about my modern houses. Either they turn out really cool or they turn out really ugly. I think I did a good job at this library, I don't know. Again, disclaimer, I am not a builder, I am just, you know, when I wanna build, I build, but I don't really know much about architecture or anything, so I'm pretty much just vibing, and if you are a builder, please, like, if this video is painful to watch, I'm sorry. I might get better. I know I say this all the time about everything I do on this channel, but I might get better, because ever since I started this channel, I've been feeling like building more again, so maybe I will build more, and maybe in the future my builds won't give you a headache anymore. I don't know. I hope that will be the case. So we have already moved to OASIS Springs, but I wanna say why I started in Willow Creek. It's because I actually at first I didn't know I would build a big modern library. At first I kind of was thinking I could do like a little kids library. It would be small, it would be kind of very colorful, there would be a lot of toys. It wouldn't be just a library, it would be a space where kids can hang out, and maybe parents could come there with toddlers. There would probably be some space for teenagers and children Sims to do their homework, okay. Never mind. And yeah, but then I kept going, and I kept building all these boxes, and suddenly my vision for what I wanted to build, I actually realized, wait, this would fit more in OASIS Springs, and OASIS Springs doesn't have a library, but it has this very useless museum. So I deleted the museum, and now I'm building a library there. Also, I don't mean it like museums are useless. Museums are amazing. I love museums in real life. In The Sims 4, however, I mean, what can you really do there? And let's be honest, like, the ones that are already in the game, they're not even that pretty to look at. The base game ones, at least, are kind of meh, you know. No shade to the people who made them or anything, but yeah, I mean, we all know that players do it better, right? Like, and the Sims team actually collabed with actual simmers to make their builds for some packs, right? So I'm sure they know too. I'm sure they are not offended. Anyway, since this is a video where I'm building a library, why don't we talk about books a little bit? Shall we? Sorry, that was really awkward. I need to work on my intonation and all that. I've said this before, I am not very used to speaking anymore, so yeah, I'm not saying I'm learning to speak again, but I'm used to being quiet, and I'm used to expressing myself a bit different than you know, talking. That makes me sound super weird, but it's true, kinda, it's true. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about books. I know I don't have that many subscribers at the moment, and not everyone leaves comments, but if you're still listening, I want to know which books you have read this year, or which book that you have read this year, which one was your favorite, or maybe which one you absolutely hated, or just talk to me about books in the comments, okay? For me, okay, so I started this year still as a university student. I mean, I already knew I would drop out because my mental health was... I knew I wouldn't last until the final exams. I knew it's over. But I still did my best. I did all the homework. I did all the reading. So for the first few months of 2022, I've read a lot of history books. I've read a lot of books about World War II. Not my favorite subject in history, but I've read a lot of books about that. I've read a lot of books about what happened afterwards, you know, modern history and all that, which is actually, I think, my most favorite topic to learn about in history. And it's also, I mean, at least in my country, it is such an important time period, and you don't learn anything at school about it. There's a problem with history classes in my country that oftentimes, by the time you're at the end of your education, you only get to World War II in history, and then there's just not time to talk about what happened later. But it's actually, for today, it is the most important time period. It still influences us to this day. And it actually makes me quite angry, because then, for example, they go on the street. For example, there's a show on the TV, and they go in the streets and they ask young people about important historical dates, and the people don't know. But, you know, it kind of makes me ashamed that people don't know, but at the same time, no one told them. Really, that's not on us, that's on our teachers, our parents. Well, actually, not my parents. My parents made sure that I would know all the important dates and stuff. So it makes me very conflicted. Like, part of me is like, how can you not know this? And part of me is like, yeah, of course you don't know this, because nobody taught you. So, like, who's to blame here, right? I'm sorry, I'm rambling right now. I would probably start ranting about this, like actually angry ranting about this if I go any further. So back to books. So I've read a lot of history books, even though I've already said many times that I hated my university experience. I actually loved that it made me read so many interesting history books and books that I wouldn't otherwise pick, because maybe the topic is not exactly for me, but I picked them up because I wanted my books for the exam to be, you know, diverse, and I wanted to learn more about topics that are important but they don't really interest me. Am I making sense? Well, yeah, I've read a lot of history books, and that's actually a good thing. And I've also, because I didn't study just history, I studied also the Czech language and literature. And in my last year of university, we had a class about old Czech literature, you know, the oldest literature up until like 1800s, 1700s, something like that. And that's actually not a time period that I would know a lot about from like the literature point of view. Obviously, I know some of the most famous, most important works, but I haven't actually read them myself until now, and I was actually pretty surprised. I enjoyed it. I will say that I enjoyed reading all these super old, even like religious, I don't know, poetry and stuff like that. I'm not religious myself, and it's not like it turned me into a religious person, but it was just so interesting. And oh, I just realized, I've said in my other video, and I've probably said it in this one too, that I've hated everything about my university experience, and actually no, that's not true, because this class on this old literature, this was probably my most favorite literature class ever, of all the 3 years, and I actually loved it. I think I was the only one who liked it, but yeah, it was just so interesting and it was so new to me. And even though I haven't read anything from like that time period ever since I dropped out, it's still kind of in the back of my head. I wanna learn more about it. Yeah. Long story short, it was very interesting. And yeah, then I did my last exams in June, when it was already obvious that like I need to go. I can't finish university because I was burned out, I was depressed. It was a terrible time, okay? I'll leave it at that. And then in summer, I decided to relax for a bit, maybe read some of my old favorites, and so I was looking through my bookshelves, and since I was already kinda... since my vampire hyperfixation was already going strong for all of the first 6 months of 2022, I looked at the Vampire Academy books and I was like, yeah, I really want to reread that. I was obsessed with these books when I was 14, 15. I don't often reread books, but I've read this series at least 5 or 4 times when I was, 15. And I was actually a bit worried that I would not like it as much, because some of the things didn't age well, let's be honest, but I was surprised that actually, I am aware not all of these things in these books are okay anymore, but when you kind of accept it and you're like, okay, this is not bad. I mean, sorry. When you accept it that not all of the things are still okay, but you kinda give it a pass, I guess, and focus on the good things, they are still enjoyable books. I had so much fun reading them again, and now I'm actually reading the Bloodlines series, which is a Vampire Academy spin-off. I've never read it before except for the first book. And yeah, there are some things that annoy me, but it's enjoyable. I still love it. But okay, this is gonna sound weird, but one thing that was really weird. If you've read the books, you know that there's this main couple in the series, and they have quite an age difference. And the protagonist is 17, 18, and he's 24. And when I was younger, I was like, whatever, like, they are in love, and he's super, like, he knows that he shouldn't be dating her, but he's super, like, gentle with her, and they have the chemistry, so sometimes it's okay, I guess. I wasn't as okay with that now that I am 22, because I was just, the whole time I was like, okay, but, like, no, I would not go and date an 18-year-old, that would just be weird. And so, yeah, I was a bit like, I don't know how I feel about, I mean, they do have chemistry, and they are cute, but I mean, the age difference, I don't know how I feel about that. Also, it made me think, I had no business simping for Dimitri like that when I was 15. He was 9 years older than me at that time. Why was I so obsessed with him? Like, girl, obsess over someone your age, okay? And yeah, that's another weird thing. Now I'm only 2 years younger than Dimitri, and I am older than Rose and Lisa and Christian and, you know, all these characters who were actually older than me at the time of reading that book for the first time. That's super weird. And it's also super weird to imagine that these characters are the exact same age my sibling is right now. Like, what? How? I hate the natural passage of time. I truly do hate it. Okay, so I have rambled a lot about books in this video, and I am seeing that we are actually getting really close to the end. I hope you enjoyed this build. If you like it and would like to play in it, it's available on my gallery. It is CC free. It is, what else? It's CC free, that's probably all I have to say, right? It uses quite a lot of packs, but I'm sure you'll be okay even if you don't have them, because a lot of time I just use like maybe 1 or 2 things from the pack and that's all. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you liked this build, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out my other social media, and leave a comment if you liked this video. Leave a comment with your favorite books you've read this year. I wanna know, I really wanna know. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys! Sorry, I'm just really excited about this one, so that's why the bye guys was so, you know, excited. Yeah, bye everyone!